Okay, I'm actually going to go on a little bit of a rant. A rant in that, I watched Brodes, Coffee Talk show, great show. And, this issue has come to mind in a couple of games, and definitely some games that we lost, but also games that we won. This idea of quote-unquote the all-bench unit and substitutions. And I engaged a really friendly back and forth with Brodes on the topic. But I feel like it was absolutely necessary for me to make a video on it. And there's going to be a screenshot in the video, but I'm not sure. It'll probably be, if I can edit it in successfully with what I say. So it's not going to be well timed, but I'm going to get a screenshot that will essentially show the minutes played. But I'll read it out. So, okay. Here are the minutes of our 5 starters. Danny Green played 32 minutes and 41 seconds. Tobias Harris played 36 minutes and 10 seconds. Tony Bradley played 32 minutes and 57 seconds. Ben Simmons played 54 minutes and 51 seconds. The starter who played the least is the starter that we would all want to play the least in Furkan Korkmaz, 26 minutes and 41 seconds. So, the question I posed to Brodes was, how many minutes do you want your starters in the ball game? Because 4 of the 5 played up to 35 minutes. Now, recall that the NBA 4 quarters is a 48-minute game. So your starters, 4 of them, are basically playing upward close to 80% of the game. So already you're getting a lot of load from your starters. They're bringing in quite a heavy load. If you averaged up to 35 minutes, that would probably put you top 20 in the league. It was honestly the shortest rotation that you have seen from Doc Rivers this season. So, if that's the case, that we played 4 of our 5 starters up to at least 33 minutes a night, what happened? I'm going to tell you what happened. Dwight Howard in 14 minutes is 0 for 6. Mike Scott in 11 minutes is 0 for 3. Matisse Thybulle in 17 minutes is 0 for 2. That is a 0 for 11 from your bench. Tyrese Maxey, the only productive bench player, at 2 for 3 in 11 minutes, and he played the least. So, what we're really saying, I guess, is play Tyrese Maxey more. Or, if we can be a little bit real with ourselves right here, Mike Scott sucks. Matisse Thybulle is a very overrated player, if we're being brutally honest. And Tyrese Maxey is a young, raw kid, who maybe you should get him more time. The highest bench player was actually Shake Milton, 22 minutes. 13 points on 14 shots. He made a couple of them late, but Shake Milton wasn't playing good basketball for you either. It's not about the quote-unquote all-bench unit. You're not going to play the 5 starters 48 minutes a night. In that 10, 11-minute segment, one of them has to make a field goal. One of them has to make a field goal. You're not going to have a 5-man rotation. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So whether you like it or not, these players are going to come on the floor at some point. Now, if we had the depth, we could just sub 1 or 2 guys in, but we don't. We literally have absolutely no depth on the bench. None. But you have to get your starters rest. You can't play on 45. So you're caught in a pickle of bad players on your bench, which is one of the reasons why I had no concerns at all with this trade deadline, trading the trash and getting some actual basketball players in here. But for Doc Rivers, you have to play these guys and you have to survive That's what it's about. It's about survival. You have to survive the 11 minutes of Mike Scott. You have to survive the 17 minutes of Matisse Bible, who gives you absolutely nothing on the offensive end tonight. You have to survive those type of minutes. Because there's no such thing as only playing your 5 starters. I mean, even the TNT announcers got it. Your depth right now, it's hit or miss. If Shake Milton balls out, you can manage. But if Shake Milton is mediocre like tonight, what you end up happening is that's when it becomes worst bench in the league, and you give up big leads because your bench can't score the ball. It's that damn simple. Nothing to do with an all-bench lineup. They're just not good. If I sub them in a little bit or if I sub them in a lot, it doesn't matter. They're still going to cost me. They're still going to turn the ball over. They're still going to put me in a position to fail because they're not good. That's it. That's all it is. Mike Scott sucks. Matisse Bible can't score. Dwight Howard is great energy rebounds, but only 3 points. What do you want Doc to do with this mishap of a bench? This shows you how great our starters really are. You know, Tobias Harris, Tony Bradley emerging, you know, and Ben Simmons, better than, you know, the last game at least, so that's a step in the right direction for Ben. But my whole point to this is going to be, there is no all-bench lineup. The bench doesn't even exist right now. I don't even like Shake Milton as the 6th man last couple of games. He's been wildly inconsistent this year. There are many things to gripe at, but none of it is the coaching. There's nothing to do with the substitutions. Like, what do you want me to do with the worst bench in basketball sometimes? What do you want me to do? Do you literally want me to play 5 guys 48 minutes? Is that what you want me to do? Or, and Daryl Morey is working on this in the deadline in the next 24 hours, get me serviceable bench players. If you could get me guys who can exist on the court and not be 0 for 3 in 14 minutes. How are you 0 for 3? How is it? Like, you're on the court, you're jogging for 14 minutes. How do you only get 3 shots up, first of all? And how do you miss all of them, secondly? Like, if you could just replace the trash with NBA caliber players. Doc Rivers played an 8-man rotation a couple years ago. You had Lou Williams, you had Montrezl Harrell, and they could both give you over 40. Furkan started because Seth Curry was out. So that's another thing. You have to start Furkan Korkmaz, and with Seth Curry and Embiid being out, obviously your depth takes a substantial hit, so there's that factor as well. But the brutal bottom line becomes, no, this isn't an all-bench problem. This is the fact that they suck to begin with. And whether you play them a little or whether you play them a lot, you would have gotten burned either way. So I just need to defend Doc right here because that was more execution. That was more, there's a reason why I said in my post-game video, there's a reason I said I slept on it. It was disgusting to look at because I knew you couldn't help it. It was a player thing. Shake Milton sucking. Matisse Bible wasn't doing anything. Dwight Howard's just boarding. Like, I know that can't change. So I conceded the game. I was like, okay, it's that kind of night. Turns out that your starters are able to, again, log big minutes. 4 of your 5 starters over 33 minutes of action. And credit to them to play that many minutes and succeed in that environment. But that was a short rotation. That was as short as it possibly could have been. Your bench sucks, so you need to address it at the deadline. It's a player personnel issue, not a coaching one. It is just a big difference. And, like, so what should we have done in order to keep the lead? Should Tobias have to play 40 minutes? Do you want Danny Green to play 35? Should Furkan Korkmaz to play 31 minutes? I think what you could have done is You could have just taken away Mike Scott and Tyreek and Matisse Thybulle's minutes and give them to Tyreek Maxey. An additional 28 minutes to Maxey. That shortens your rotation a bit even more. But really, you're just going to need better players off the bench. And you need Daryl Morey to go with buyouts and with whatever is available to change the bench. But really, this shows the weakness of Matisse Thybulle. He played the second most minutes of any bench player and only got 2 shots up. How? So although Matisse is a nice defensive piece for you, I'm not sure if he's... Every time I see Matisse go to the bench, this is the one thing. When we see Matisse at the bench this year, it has been utterly redundant and worthless to have him off the bench. He impacts nothing on the bench. The bench is for offensive units. So Matisse on the bench does nothing. Nothing at all. But when you put him in the starting lineup with Ben Simmons, you start seeing him knock down a couple of feeds because Ben will pass it to him. Ben will pass anybody, really. So he starts getting a couple of feeds. He starts getting open shots. And he gets in the flow of the offense, with the starters. Ironically enough, it's the same thing for Furkan. It's also the same thing for Shake Milton. You could have started Shake Milton and kept Furkan court miles off the bench. And that might have been productive. That shooting guard spot while Seth Curry is out is a game of potatoes. Which one you want to go with on a given night. Tonight he chose Furkan. I believe in the next game he chose Thybulle. So Doc Rivers really isn't settled on who Seth Curry's main backup is going to be. That in of itself should say it all. You need upgrades to your bench. It is a personnel issue, not a minutes played issue, because 4 of your 5 starters played over 32 minutes. You got your money's worth from your starting lineup. Your bench, 0 for 11. That should never happen. 0 for 11 should not happen in college, let alone a basketball game. So Daryl Morey is going to be on the clock. Daryl Morey is going to try and get things done. Because this bench is dog shit. Whether you played them 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you still would have gotten a bad bench performance. And you need to come in and get better players for the bench. But it is not an all bench lineup. Oh my God, we played them too many minutes. With the way the bench were playing, you would have preferred to play them no minutes. But that's not how basketball works. You have to survive with the scrubs until you get to the 4th quarter and you can secure a win. If you're within 2 points, 1 point, whatever the case is, Brodes does it better than I do with the bench situation. But if you could just survive and then you get your better players in, that's how you win the game. But yeah, the bench is terrible, but that's not Doc Rivers' fault. It's the fault of the roster that we have. It's the fault of the Colangelo people and Sam Hinkie. You blew about 8 draft picks. What did you have but the litter of the trash after wasting so many draft picks, So, it's going to take time, and this deadline moment is going to be a pivotal moment of time where you're able to continue building what you started in the offseason. But it's going to take us a good bit of time to get this to where we want to get it. We're actually very ahead of schedule, obviously, with the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. So I feel like attacking Doc for the quote-unquote all-bench lineups, I think it's misplaced. And so this is 6 of the Universe signing off.